everyone, and welcome to Thorough Newspaper Analysis, which is brought to you by LawSeco. So, there is only one article to be discussed today at length, which is from the Hindu. Otherwise, there were some crisp news points that we have taken from yesterday's newspaper editions. Please mind, this is not from the Hindu, this is from the Indian Express, as we do not have the edition from the Hindu. So, this is from the Indian Express, as you can see from the explained section of the Indian Express. In Bombay High Court verdict on sexual assault, the issue of mandatory minimum sentencing. So this talks about the very provision of minimum sentence that must be provided under the various provisions of POCSO Act, which is for the harassment or sexual harassment against children. So what are the negative aspects which are attached to minimum sentences, and how actually minimum sentencing leads to lesser number of convictions has been discussed in this article. It is really a very good article. So please pay a lot of attention today while we are discussing this. And the second one is news and flash for our prelims exam. So if you're also preparing for judicial services examination, you can have a look at the lot of the courses, which is the judiciary test prep course from LawSeco. This is a very amazing course for all the judicial services aspirants, and the link to this is provided in the description box below. Also from the landing page of this course, you can download free study material for your own help and preparation. So this is the multiple choice question from a day before yesterday's discussion. Riza is a customary hand-woven cloth mainly used in, so basically this is a traditional hand-woven cloth of which state? Punjab, Gujarat, Assam or Tripura? You can write down your answer in the comment section below. This is the descriptive question from today's discussion. Mandatory sentencing in laws leads to fewer convictions. Comment. So basically, recently, the Bombay High Court in the case of Satish versus State of Maharashtra has acquitted a man of sexual assault charges under the POCSO Act and instead convicted him for a lesser punishment under IPC. Now, as we know that the punishments for sexual harassment or outraging the modesty of a woman and even rape, all of these provisions and the punishment for them are already available in the Indian Penal Code. But since the sexual crimes against the children were ever increasing, we came up with the Act POCSO, which was Prevention of Sexual Offences Against Children Act. So this act actually had the very aim of emphasizing that it is very, very important to keep the children, now be it a male child or a female child, safe from any kind of sexual assault, sexual harassment, or any such kind of immoral act or immodest act. And that is why the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act came up in 2012, which was finally implemented in 2013. This actually, the purpose of this was to make the laws against sexual harassment against children to be very stringent and very strong. That is why, let's see that what is the case, but why on the contrary, instead of punishing this particular offender in the under the POCSO Act, he has been convicted for a lesser punishment, which is provided under IPC. So the Nagpur bench, which was a Bombay High Court, reversed the decision of the Session Court that had earlier convicted a man under Section 8 of POCSO Act and sentenced him to 3 years in jail. So earlier in the Sessions Court, Section 8 was brought in by the by the Sessions Court, and this particular person was sentenced to jail for a term period of 3 years. So the rationale behind Bombay High Court in reversing this decision of the Session Court is that the offence under POCSO carried higher punishment and therefore requiring a higher standard of proof. So now it says that since basically what happened was that in this case, the girl child, perhaps she was 12-year or 8-year-old, so she had complained that this particular offender, this particular man had taken her to his house in lieu of, or in this for inciting her for taking some fruit, guava fruit or something. And when she came to his house, he actually tried to touch her breast and her other vital organs. So here, the rationale behind Bombay High Court in reversing the conviction under Section 8 of POCSO was that since the punishment which has been provided under Section 8 is 3 years in jail, which is a long-term punishment in as compared to other kinds of punishments, so that is why for this, good amount of proof is also required. That is, a higher standard of proof is also required. And since we do not have that level of proof, it would not be justified to convict this particular person or this offender under section 8 of POXO, and that is why it also said that indirect contact would not constitute sexual assault under section 7 of the POXO Act. This area perhaps can be a scope of where this act can be further improved to, because as you can read here, now here you can see section 8 basically provides the punishment for section 7. So this is section 7 of POXO Act. Whoever with sexual intent touches the vagina, penis, anus, or breast of the child and makes the child touch the vagina, penis, anus, or breast of such person or any other person, or does any other act with sexual intent which involves physical contact without penetration is said to commit a sexual assault. Now, obviously, if there is sexual penetration, then it will definitely amount to rape. But if in case there has not been a sexual penetration, that is complete rape, what would amount to sexual assault? All these things. But here one thing that has been added is that which involves physical contact. Now here it has been sometimes it really seems to be bizarre that such situations, like you say, in this case the person had touched her body just from over the clothes. So it says, the court, actually the high court said that it cannot amount to physical contact, and thus section 7 of the POXO Act cannot be inflicted, and thus this person, this offender, has to be convicted under IPC. So definitely this is something which actually puts down the entire reason why POXO Act was brought in first place. Now let's see if there have been any similar court decisions earlier as well. So the Delhi High Court in the case of State versus Bijender in 2014 also acquitted a man under the POXO Act and convicted him under IPC offences. Now please keep in mind that here it does not mean that he has been completely acquitted from the charges, but he gets the person he gets acquitted, offender gets acquitted from the charges under the POXO Act, and conviction is further taken under the IPC offences. So it was held that the act of tearing clothes of the victim did not constitute physical contact even if sexual intent was present. Now, obviously, I am very sure this must be sounding very ambiguous to you, that because the very intention was sexual intent was here, it is very much clear that the person was tearing the clothes of the particular victim, but still it was the contention of the Delhi High Court again that physical contact has still not been established, and thus section 8 and 7 of POXO Act cannot be brought into use. Restrictively interpreted the lack of physical contact with sexual organs to mean that there was no physical contact. So this definitely is something very, it is not something that only a person has to touch somebody with any, sexual organ per se to establish physical contact. If at all we're talking about sexual harassment, then the sexual harassment can take place through these activities as well. So definitely in the future coming cases, maybe a wider interpretation of section 7 and 8 of the POXO Act can be taken up. So in both the cases, courts failed to recognize the words any other act with sexual intent which involves physical contact without penetration. Definitely. This needs to be kept in mind because it is not just the physical contact with a sexual intent, but also any other act with sexual intent which involves physical contact without penetration. So it also amounts to sexual assault under section 7 of POXO. Now here, let's understand that what is the mandatory punishment under section 8 of the POXO. It is rigorous imprisonment for 3 to 5 years, which was actually granted by the session court in the previous case. So here, this is a mandatory punishment. Now let's understand that what is the term, or what do we understand by minimum sentence. So when prescribed by a statute, courts do not have the discretion to pass lighter sentences irrespective of any specific circumstances. Now, one thing we need to understand that, like in this example of section 8, which provides the punishment for section 7 under POXO, there is a mandatory punishment for 3 to 5 years. Now, here, as you can see, that 3 is there, it is not written up to 5 years. Now, if you may notice, in most of the provisions of the IPC, the punishment is provided to be as imprisonment up to 1 year of jail term, or up to 5 years, up to 10 years, or fine, or both, something like that. So in a way, it provides a great discretion and leeway to the judges to decide upon the duration or decide upon the quantum of punishment. But here, since you can see it is 3 to 5 years, so which means at least a punishment of rigorous imprisonment has to be provided for 3 years, which might be 3.5 years, 4 years, 4.5 years, up to 5 years. So this is the minimum sentence over here. So here it is not left to the discretion of the judges to pass any lighter sentences, irrespective of any specific circumstances that could have taken place. And the Supreme Court in the case of JNK versus Vinay held that the mitigating circumstances in a case, if established, would authorize not less than minimum prescribed under the Act. So this means that if a person is convicted under Section 8 of the POCSO Act, so at least a minimum punishment of 3 years shall be provided to that person. So it is prescribed for all the offences under POCSO Act except for sexual harassment. And why prescribed? Basically, it is done to underline the seriousness of an offence. So this basically shows that if at all you're trying to do something with or you're trying to commit this kind of an offense, it is very serious in nature, and thus you will have to take at least this minimum sentence. So this is the very purpose of highlighting the importance or highlighting the gravity of that particular offense. Now, here is the criticism for mandatory sentencing. The mandatory sentencing leads to fewer convictions as judges perceive the punishment as harsh. So, because now in this case, also in both these cases, you can see that instead of taking the case forward and convicting the offender under the provisions of POCSO, they actually acquitted him under POCSO and then convicted him under the provisions of IPC, which had comparatively lesser punishments for that particular offense which he had committed. So that is why it many a times leads to fewer convictions, because the judges believe that the punishment, the minimum sentence, is really not in proportion with the act which was done by the offender. Then they do not allow judges to consider factors such as accused being the first time offender, potential for reformation in the accused, sole breadwinner of the family, accused age and social background, and seriousness of the offense. And thus all of these things are completely overlooked while granting the mandatory or minimum sentence, and thus the judges choose not to take the option of this mandatory sentencing in maximum of the cases, and rather move towards the other provisions or other sections of the IPC which provide for similar punishments, but lesser, similar offenses, but lesser punishment. The 2016 study of the working of special courts under POCSO Act in Delhi by Center for Child Law at the NLS Bengaluru said that it highlighted the reluctance of courts in convicting under sections carrying mandatory sentencing. So according to the 2016 book, Discretion, Discrimination and the Rule of the Law, Reforming Rape Sentence in India, which was done by Mrinal Satish, it was brought up that the discretion of providing for punishment is not removed, but only shifted to the police. So this is not something that is very healthy for criminal justice system in any country. With this, let's see what do we have for news in flash. So as we know that the Padma Awards they have come up for Padma Vibhushan and Padma Bhushan. So 7 have received Padma Vibhushan, 10 have received Padma Bhushan, and 102 have received Padma Shri. So these are the list for Padma Vibhushan and Padma Bhushan. Please keep them in mind. There is a very high chance that a question might come up from this. And even as you can see, Shinzo Abe, who was earlier the president of Japan, who actually stepped down due to his ill health, he has also been granted Padma Vibhushan by our country. Then S.P. Balasubramaniam, the very famous singer, has also been awarded. Then Shri Narendra Singh Kapani, he has been given this posthumously for science and engineering. So you please keep them in mind and memorize all of these. Then this is the report by the Oxfam, which says that the billionaires' wealth increased by 35% in the lockdown era. So as per a report by Oxfam, Oxfam International, basically it is a collaboration of various NGOs. This is an independent body, but these reports are really reliable and can be very easily quoted in our exam mains answers as well as the essays. So it says that the Indian billionaires increased their wealth by 35% to rupees 3 trillion during the lockdown, ranking them behind their counterparts in US, China, Germany, Russia, and France. So this basically shows us the divide that we have, the economic divide that we have, that on one side where the poor were getting poorer, these billionaires actually increased their worth to more than 35%. So this was all for the day. We hope it was a good session for you. Thank you so much for staying tuned with LawSikho. So if in case you wish to download the PDF for today's slides, please join our Telegram group, the link to which is available in the description box below. And for any other information, you can also visit our official website. Thank you so much.